Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Mr. Payton Stories. School number 5, Quentin STEM Academy. This was right after the pandemic, so we started school online, which was weird, of course. You got people asleep, you got people laying in the bed, and I actually want to focus on 2 kids in particular. One dude would literally be laying down in the bed and just click on his laptop. Then the other dude would hardly ever show up. Come to find out, he in another state. So we're going to call these people Mr. S and Mr. C. They know exactly who I'm talking about, but if I give up their names, man, they're going to get way too much shine. I ain't trying to give them that much shine. Mr. C, the guy who is in another state, when we finally got on campus, I'm telling you, this dude had more stories than you ever could hear of. He knew professional athletes. I believe he told us his parents were millionaires. They had a whole bunch of houses. And he would always tell stories. And it was kind of like this running joke. Everybody would be like, as soon as he would start telling the story, we'd all go, here we go again. And he started telling the story. And he was so energetic that if you didn't know any better, you would think he's telling the truth. And here's the thing. I guess he could have been telling the truth, but the way he was telling the story, they just didn't make, they were too good to actually be true. You know, one time he was with a NFL player, there was a DB, he was training him, and I said, well, when's your football game? Well, I'm not on the team right now. So you just got trained by an NFL dude, and you ain't even on the team? Okay, so I guess that's possible. He could have just went to a camp. Then he was like, yeah, and so, my mom's gave me a bunch of money there, because she's a millionaire. Okay, and then like, well, then where the money? Well, I didn't bring it today. Okay, so Mr. C always had a story. Then Mr. S, so Mr. S was the guy that every time we turned on our laptop, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, most of you do. In the pandemic, you know how it was, we had all the classes there. Now in high school, y'all didn't have to turn on your cameras. I told my kids they didn't turn on their camera, they were going to get an F, so they turned the cameras on. But of course, everybody would flip them up towards the ceiling and do all kind of crazy stuff. So I said, if I don't see your forehead, you don't get no grade. But anyway, this guy didn't have that problem. He would just literally be laying in bed, sometimes straight up sleep. He would turn on the camera and fall asleep. He always had on a do-rag and stuff. And so Mr. S, I just thought, man, when I finally meet this kid, he's going to fall asleep every day. Well, it was exactly the opposite. This dude has so much energy, and his laugh, not only was it loud and screeching, it was like the worst hyena getting choked by something that you could ever think of. But then he would never stop, and he would laugh so loud and so hard that everybody else would start laughing. They don't even know what he's laughing at. So Mr. S and Mr. C, man, made my time at that school a lot more fun, because that was a rough year for me. There was just a lot going on that year, but they made it worth it, man. And so shouts out to you, Mr. S, and shouts out to you, Mr. C, from Mr. P. So it's just been another episode of Mr. Payton Stories. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I don't know how many more I'm going to do, but that's it for now. Please like the video and subscribe for more content. See you soon.